Awesome. Happy Monday, Inspire Beauty. I'm super pumped tonight because, well, just really grateful, quite frankly, for people in the network that will take the mic and take the burden and carry a load on days that I need it most. So I'm not going to talk too much. One thing I wanted to make the announcement about is this weekend is Super Weekend. So make sure that you are getting plugged into an event near you. If you go to the Coach Online office and you click on the events tab, you'll see Super Weekend as one of the options. When you click there, you can look at the interactive interactive map. And on the interactive map, you can type in your zip code and you'll be able to see if there are in fact any events near you. If there's not, then try your best to figure out how to get plugged into a virtual event. Okay. Because this is just not to be missed. There's going to be exciting announcements and all the promos for the 2 new programs that are launching, plus live workouts, plus you get to be around the community, just all the good things, right? This is the next best thing to Summit. So you got to get your booty to those events. Let's see what else. That's really it for that. I heard a phrase though yesterday at church and I was like, I got to share that with the team. It was, I can only love you if you let me. We can only love you if you let us. Meaning we can only love you so much as how close you get. And so things like Monday night team trainings, it's an opportunity for us to be able to pour back into you guys as leaders. But all these things, getting out of Super Weekend, getting your summit tickets, getting plugged in and connected into message threads and pods and things like that, we can only love you as much as you let us, right? So be the kind of coach, be the kind of teammate that lets us freaking love you, because I promise you after Saturday's baby shower and the week earlier, y'all came out to party with me for hitting 60 months of Success Club in a row. Like, that's one thing I know about this team is that we surround one another. We support one another. We're there for one another, but you have to let us love you in order to like really benefit from that, right? So let's be those kind of people. All right, I'm going to be done talking here. Gabby, y'all probably know Gabby, love Gabby, but I'm just Grace wants y'all to know that she loves Gabby too. My gosh. On that note, I'm just going to mute myself. Gabby, why don't you just give them your quick stats and everything?
Yeah, of course. Okay, that was so funny because that's usually my dogs or my baby. Before I do that, I will need access to share my screen. But yes, let's get started. So I'm Gabby, and if you're new here, because I have spoke before for Brittany's team, and so you might have heard of me. I'm also a co-creator for Your Coach Bestie with Morgan Butler, and so if you're in that page, we give out free content, all things fun, and we are actually starting on Fire and Flow content. So be sure to get in that. And honestly, we love feedback too. So please, like if there's anything that you guys need or look for and it's not in there, please let us know because we love feedback. We are always looking to just make things better for you guys. That's the whole point of Your Coach Bestie, is for us to be your bestie in your business. Anyway, I've been a coach for 4 years, and well, 4 years this year. And I will say that I'm going to say this. I have stepped into the leadership of being a coach and a business owner this year after 2 things. Actually, we'll say last year a little bit, but there's 2 major things that shifted in my business because I started in 2018 as a discount coach. And I did not want to coach. I was like, no, I was that girl. I followed my coach for 4 years. I said no to her for 4 years. I would get into her sneak peeks. I would ghost her. I was that girl we all hate. Okay. So don't give up on those girls because they always come around. And so sorry, I just want to make myself a little bit brighter. Okay, there we go. So then I got really bad. I was depressed. I had anxiety. I stopped going to the gym because I was like, I know what I'm doing at the gym. And I really didn't know what I was doing. I was watching like YouTube videos and like following influencers and trying to match like what they were eating and copy that. Didn't work. Right. So then I saw her go on her Success Club trip and travel, and she had a mom bod, and I was like, oh my God, like she's everything that I am not. Okay. And I followed her for 4 years. And when I got to my lowest point, guess who I thought of first? I thought of her. because she didn't give up on me, because she kept following up, even if I said no. And, and because she didn't just invite me, she was having conversations with me other than other things. And, come join my challenge group or come join my coach sneak peek, right? I will say this, I was with another company before too. And so I just wasn't interested. And then I stopped and whatever. So anyway, I got started in October of 2018. And I just wanted to be a discount coach because I wanted the discount. I started with 21 Day Fix. I did my first workout and didn't work out for 2 weeks because I was so sore. And it was bad. And then I ended up getting the hang of it, but I really wasn't like going full-fledged in until like the new year, because I signed up in October of 2018. And so, when you sign up on the holidays and it's just like, man, I'm just like nitpicking. That's what I did. And then I went, into the new year, and I was like, okay, 80 day obsessions launching. I really didn't know anything about this autumn girl, but my coach said, okay, if this is the moment, like I got on a team call because I was like slightly interested because she went on a trip, and I remember she went on a trip. So I was like, okay, well, I'm a discount coach. Let me just see what it is about. Well, I got on a call and she was talking about 80 Day Obsession. And I was like, oh, I want to do this program. I'm like psyched because if I'm going to do it, like now's the time. I've just kind of been nitpicking in different programs. And like, if I'm going to go all in, this is the program. And that's what she said. But then she said something else. She said, if you want to launch your business, this is the program to do that with. And I was like, well, I'm in college. I'm not happy. And maybe this is going to be for me. I don't know. I've been in love with health and fitness. I was with another company. It didn't work out. And I don't know. What do I have to lose? Guess what I did? I dropped out of college, and I'm not telling anyone to drop out of college, but I'm just saying that's what worked for me. I dropped out of college. I didn't tell my parents really what I was doing because I just was scared. I dropped out of college and I just went full-fledged. I went all in on 80 Day Obsession. And what I did was I went all in on 80 Day Obsession, and then I slowly started to do the new coach trainings. And I got obsessed. I mean, like, guys, probably sickly obsessed with Beachbody, where I was like YouTubing like how to do this or how to do that. I attended the trainings, but I taught myself. I am self-taught in this business because I took like an advance, and I was like, okay, that's cool, but I don't know what Emerald means. I'm going to go Google it. So I went to Google University for Beachbody. And so I'm going to tell you, don't rely on your coach, because your coach is only 10% of your business. Your coach it's not her responsibility to build your business. You started this business because whatever you wanted, write it down in your head, right? Whatever you want this business for, you have to go get it. I wasn't going to rely on my coach to train me and teach me everything. Like, yeah, of course, like she helped me. Like I texted her all the time, but then I got to the point where I was like, you know what? Don't answer that question. I'm going to go Google it first. And she would always laugh at me. And she still says that I'm like the Google queen, because I always say to all my girls, go Google that shit. Like literally GTS, Google that shit. Like that's just my motto. And because there's an FAQ, like literally if you type in anything in Google, how to insert Beachbody, it will be right there. Your answer is right there. Okay. And it's not because I'm being any type of way. I want my girls to like learn how to build a business rather than just rely on me. I can't be available 24/7, especially now I have a newborn. But anyway, I digress. But anyway, I started with that, and then I was like dabbling, you guys. Like it really wasn't like going crazy. Like I was hitting Success Club like every single month. I didn't really know what I was doing. I had no idea what Team Cycle Bonus was until I went to Summit. And my coach was like, wait, you earned Team Cycle Bonus, like $70. And I was like, oh, I don't know what that means, but that's cool. And I will say this, talking about Summit, I went with $100 in my bank account because my coach said I needed to be there. And I was like, well, okay, well, I'm going to go then. And guess what? It changed my life. So even if you're going to sit here and say that you can't afford it, go sell something. I sold my DSL, I think it's DSR, whatever. I sold my camera. I sold other things. I don't remember what I sold. It was like almost 4 years ago, but I made sure I got there. Okay. I didn't have any excuses. And, like even now I have a newborn, and it's hard to find care for her. Like I have to rely on my mom a lot. But I always feel bad. But the people around you, if you share with them how important this is to you and how life-changing this event is going to be, they should understand. And you can also take your baby. I mean, I would totally take her, because I want to like walk on stage with her. That's always been like my goal. But I'm just not gonna, I'm just not bringing her. Anyway, like that's what I went, like, whatever my coach said to do, I did it. It wasn't like, oh, I don't know, I have to like see like what my schedule's like or whatever. It's like, no, are you in or are you out? Are you a hell yes or a hell no? Because you can't be maybe in this business at all. Because if you're going to be 1 foot in and 1 foot out, you're never going to reach the next level you that you deserve to be, that your family wants you to be, that your family needs you to be in order to reach those goals that you need to reach to be able to build that dream home or put your child in, the most amazing school ever. Like I just looked up childcare for oh my gosh, what is it called? At my church, they have school, and I want to put her in a church school because that's how I grew up. And just for kindergarten is like $30,000. And I'm like, okay, I got to get my ass in gear. Right. So like, like, what are you working towards? What's important to you? And so, that's why I say you can't be half in, half out. You have to make the decision whether you want this or whether you don't, because in the Prosperous coach, he talks about that when you're talking to clients. But I want to ask yourself, are you a hell yes or are you a hell no? Because there's no such thing as hell maybe, right? There's no such thing as that. And so, because for me, I've been a hell yes since day one. Okay. Like I have, and I'm obsessed with it. And sometimes I'm a little bit too much obsessed, I feel like. But I love it, you guys. And it's just been so great. So going fast forward, I also want to like just elaborate that I went through a divorce too. So right when I was at my peak of my business, I went through a divorce, and then I really wasn't recruiting to my team. I was just hanging on by a thread, posting in my challenge groups, being the best challenger that I could honestly be at the time. And then the new year came and I was like, okay, this is my moment. I'm going to get my team back, whatever. Guess what happened? 2020 hit. And I was like, okay, well, the devil always gets you when you're high up. That's what I believe. He's testing you. Every time that you feel like you are at the top, he is going to test you, and you have to figure out how to move past it and just trust in what God has in front of you, honestly. And so, but at the same time, I didn't look at my business as, oh my gosh, everyone's being laid off, everyone's in quarantine. And I looked at this as like, this is my moment. Like people are at home, they're bored, they want to work out, gyms are closed. And my business like blew up in 2020. Okay. I'm just going to say I had the biggest paychecks. I had the biggest team at the time. And Beachbody does not guarantee any level of success, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But then what happened is everyone started to go back to work. And so it dwindled down. And so then in 2021, I was like, okay, you know what? I need to, maybe take a step back and really ask myself what I want out of my business. I need to ask myself, like, what do I need to do to become a better leader and to become a better coach? Because I feel like all those past years, 2019, 2020, and even 2021, I honestly was like, just like in it for myself, kind of. And it felt kind of forced. And I felt kind of like I was only doing it for rank or Success Club or income. And I was like, man, this is not working. And it wasn't working. Honestly, it wasn't. And so I knew that the way that I didn't feel comfortable inviting anymore, the way that I was inviting. And so I stopped inviting, and that definitely showed. And then I was like, you know what? I need to invest in something in my business and in myself. And so I invested in Guide Culture, which is a communication, like ways to communicate with people in sales. Okay. Because we are in sales, you guys, like we are in sales, and sales is a good thing. Okay. And that's another thing. You have to get comfortable or get uncomfortable, but get comfortable being uncomfortable with the word sales, right? Because for me, like I'm in sales. Yes, I sell challenge packs, and like I'm okay with that. But that's because I did this training, and Guide Culture was one of the best things that I've ever could have done, because now I know how to communicate with people and close a sale early rather than just drag it on in the conversation. And so the way that I communicate with people is, this is exactly what I say. Someone's interested. Hey, Brittany, would it be okay? Would it be okay to ask you a few questions? I don't care if they say, how much is it? Or maybe, or whatever. No, I'm in charge of the conversation. If you let someone else become in charge of the conversation, then you don't have a business. Okay. So you have to take charge, and you have to really step into that like business owner mindset and say, hey, Brittany, that's a great question. My programs are tailor-made. Would it be okay if we could save time and I ask you a few questions? That's what I say. Sure, no problem. And then I go into digging 7 layers deep in questions that I know that I'm going to get enough information to see if my group and my coaching is a good fit for them. Because when I was trying to recruit everyone, I was recruiting no one. Okay. And I would like literally be like, oh my gosh, like Brittany, this girl, Brittany, she's interested. I got to just give her all the information. And then it was all about me and all about my groups. And then it wasn't turning into what it was for them. Okay. And Guide Culture helped me see that and helped me learn how to communicate in a way where I am not making it about me and I'm making it about them. Brittany, tell me, what does your day-to-day look like? What does your intake of food look like? Do you struggle with gut issues? Do you have sensitivities? How do you feel when you eat dairy? Like I actually just asked this girl because she said her schedule is busy. I said, tell me, what do you do for work? I want to know what she does for work so I can understand how her schedule is busy, right? And so those types of questions, it's like, wow, she really cares about me. Like, wow, she really wants to understand me, right? And then once I get a little bit enough information, then I go into, hey, Brittany, you know what? I think my gut protocol group would be such a good fit for you. You mentioned that you struggle with bloat, gas, whatever. And so I go into and I just repeat back what they said to me. And I say, this is what you get. You get accountability, you get resources, and you get me as your coach one-on-one. Does that seem like something that would be helpful for you or of value for you? And she's like, oh, heck yes. Right? Like, of course, why wouldn't she say yes? And then I say, great. Is there anything else that you feel like would hold you back from signing up today? Yes or no? It's either a hell yes or a hell no, because there's no such thing as a hell maybe, right? And if she needs to be like, oh, well, let me go talk to my husband, I say, okay, talk to your husband, come back to me in an hour. Like literally, because I am not going to be like, I'm going to follow up with you in like 2 days. I'll forget about her. I'm going to be honest. Right. And like, to me, like, I'm going to go ask my husband is kind of like a hell maybe. And I'm just like, okay, well, we know. And so honestly, I never get that though. I always get like, heck yes, I'm like, there's nothing else. Like I'm ready to sign up. And guess what? I never get anyone ask me how much anymore because I started to do this, because I started to just ask them questions, make it about them, and really, really tie it around like how it could align with my groups, my coaching, and my programs. Right. And so once I do it, if every now and then I'll get like one that's like, okay, well, how much is it? I say, that's a great question. What's your budget? And you know what happens? Oh, $300. Guys, like literally, I always get around $300 to $400 for a budget. Sometimes they're like, well, I don't really have a budget, but I'm not trying to spend $1,000. And I'm like, girlfriend, it's 150. So we're signing up today, right? And they're like, heck yes. Like they think it's this big number. And so don't be afraid to ask, what's your budget? What is your budget? You know, because if you ask what's your budget and then they're like, oh, $500, I'm going to say, oh my gosh, I have two options for you. One is kind of like a basic one, but one is our deluxe. And I truly think that if you've been following me and you see my results, I use the deluxe. I use everything in the deluxe, and this will get you results just like it got me results. And because it did, it's coming from an authentic place. I use Energize, I use Shakeology, I use Recover, I use all the things, you guys. And so if they're coming to my page and they're seeing my reels and my posts and my stories, and they want to be in with me, and then they're like, oh, well, no, I don't want products, then it's not a good fit for me. It's not a good fit for us to work together, because I don't want you to join my group and then say that this didn't work. It didn't work because you didn't invest in yourself. And so I'm in the business of, I truly want to help you, and I'm going to help you the way that I got the help. So you are the coach. You are the coach. Don't let them undersell themselves. That's why it's important to ask that question. What is your budget? And if someone ever says like, oh, well, right now I don't really have a budget because, of XYZ and blah, blah, blah. Then I'm, because some people just go into like, well, I sold my house and my dog got sick. And it's like, okay, do you want in or do you want out? Like, that's really how I am, because they reached out to me, and I only like, I preached this on my story that I forgot to post it, but I was about to post that. Look, I had 24 girls today, fill out my form for gut protocol because of a reel I did today. 24. And I posted that, like, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm freaking out because I only have 10 spots. And guess what that does? It creates hype. It creates like, oh crap, like she only has 10 spots. I have to act fast. And guess what happened? 2 girls that I reached out to from my last reel that didn't respond to me, responded to me today and was like, hey, oh my gosh, I just saw this. And I just saw that Friday is the last day and you only have 10 spots. Yeah, I do. Okay. So if you are not creating hype and you are not creating that like deadline and really like just being creative, you guys, like, I don't like posting before and afters. I really don't. Like static posts, because I just don't get the responses that I feel like, when you post it, you're just like, oh, meh, but I post reels. And that's the bee's knees for the before and afters. And I was telling my coach, I was like, man, I feel like posting the before and afters with reels is so much more authentic to who I am, because it's like, yes, like look at my before and after, like look, and it makes it fun too, because everyone watches reels. Anyway, so that's what I did. I invested in guide culture. And I will say this, guide culture is a pretty hefty amount, okay, to invest in. But if you follow them on Instagram, guide culture, and get into their free group, and their podcast, I probably spent 6 months just learning all up with their free stuff. Like they do a lot of free courses, and like, webinars and stuff. So highly, highly recommend, if you are struggling with how to communicate with people to close a sale, to invest your knowledge in that before you invest in the program, because that's what I did for 6 months. And then, because I kept saying to myself, I can't afford this. But guess what? In Prosperous Coach, he says, get a coach. And that was before, I just read Prosperous Coach, but now it made sense. Like I needed to get a coach. I needed to invest. And you know what? He even says, if you're not investing in yourself, why would anyone invest in you? Right? If you don't believe in, like, if you don't believe in someone investing to make themselves better, then you probably have something blocking you from people in investing in you. So you have to work on that. Right. And so I was really happy when I read that part of the book, because it's so true. Like, and I say this to my girls all the time, on my team calls, I'm like, okay, we're in the middle of the summit push, the one-on-one mentorship. And the two girls that are weekly calls with me that are leaning in and have a coach, right? They're leaning into my coaching. They're about to rank advanced to diamond. The other ones are just every week, I'm like, what's not moving in your business? Something's wrong here, right? And so you have to invest your time with your coach, okay? To assess and to figure out, okay, that didn't work. Let's work on something else, right? Or let's make that better. Or that's amazing. You're doing great. Be on the same track that you are doing now, right? So get a coach or invest your time in guide culture. Like I would say 100%. And the second thing that I did was read Prosperous Coach. Because a lot of the teachings in Prosperous Coach was the teachings in guide culture. I'm highly convinced that Macy, the girl who created guide culture with her dad, and their faith is like, oh, super, like they tie it into guide culture too, which I just loved. Macy, the creator, I was like, oh my gosh, I think Macy read this book and then created a whole course on it. Like I'm telling you, because it is identical. And just like everything in the book, I was like, oh my gosh, like I just could not put it down. You guys, I read it 3 times. The first time I just glanced. I was like, okay, yeah. Cool. Second time I started to highlight. I was like, okay, I'm reading it. Third time I went all in. I took notes. I started to create stickies on my, I have a separate computer right here. So I started putting stickies on there because I needed to see it. I needed to like really apply it to my business. So let me go ahead and share my screen. But one dramatic change that I did to my business is I started to take my conversations away from email, away from messages, and I either get on the phone or I send them my Calendly to get on a Zoom call. And that has been such a game changer because you guys, people are like in my chat threads with corporate, like I'm in the chat threads with my 1-star mastermind, and they're like, that's so much time and I can't get on Zoom calls. I'm actually saving time because I'm not in my phone messaging back and forth, right? I'm doing Zoom calls or phone calls while my daughter is sleeping or early before she wakes up. Like that, to me, that's saving time. I'm not like, now I'm intentional. We're going to sit here for 30 minutes to an hour. I don't really have a time limit. And we're talking. And you know what happens a lot of the time? We actually start talking about coaching. I've had like 5 girls ask me about coaching and how to be a coach. And to me, I'm like shocked. I'm like, okay, whoa, like back up. Like, let's just get started with your health and fitness journey first. But then I'm like secretly like, okay, she wants to be a coach. I gotta write this down. So, because, like they see it and you get to pick their brain differently when you're on the phone with them or on a Zoom call with them. And to me, I love getting on Zoom because I actually get to meet them in person. And I'm like, then when they're in my challenge group, I'm like, oh my gosh, Brittany, you're killing it. Like, yes, but because before I would just sign them up with a challenge pack and I would forget who Brittany was. I'd just be like, oh, is that Brittany who I signed up like 2 months ago? I don't know. Right? Like, now I'm investing my time in them and I actually know who they are and I care about them a lot more. And I know like other coaches might work for them and that's on them, but that's what works for me. And so let me go ahead and share my screen. Hold on. I just need to find my share screen. Okay. So I kind of went on a tangent there, but it's okay. Because I did this call for my team last week too, because we've all read it. And I was like, okay, like, let's just like come together and like really, just invest our time in it. So impact income is like what I believe in all the way. And every time you coach, you change the world, you guys. Every time you coach, you change the world. So every time every time I'm on a call, and he talks about this in the book too. Every time I'm on a call, I always repeat to myself before I get on the call, I want this person to remember this call for the rest of their lives. I want them to remember this for the rest of their lives, that this was such an impactful call that they're going to be like, wow, I feel changed. I feel amazing. Because you know what happened when I reached out to my coach and I purchased my challenge pack? I texted her the next day and I said, you changed my life. And I didn't even get started yet. Like that was impactful. And I want someone to say that about me. I don't want someone to just be like, okay, yeah, like here's your challenge pack, go buy it. Right. And then they, happens, they probably don't even do it. Probably don't even use it. But every time you coach, you change the world, and you have to define what coach means to you. Okay. Because coach to me means I'm going to change someone's life. And even if they don't want to get on a call or want to get on a Zoom, for me, I won't add anyone to my challenge group or to my team if they don't get on a phone call or a Zoom call. I won't, because I really need to figure out who they are and if this would be a good fit for them. Because my biggest fear is someone turning around and saying, oh, this girl signed me up and she didn't do anything. Because that happens to me all the time. I get messages in my DMs all the time. Can I join your group? My coach doesn't do anything. Can I join your group? My coach, my coach doesn't talk to me, or she doesn't have a challenge group. And I'm like, that sucks. I don't ever want anyone to say that about me. So I'm going to change someone's life. Like that's what I fear, you guys. I don't fear sales. I don't fear no's. I fear someone saying that to someone else about me. And so I'm going to make sure that I can be the best coach that I can be for them. So these are some questions in the book that I just loved, because it really made me see like, wow, I was a struggling coach for a while. And I probably still am in some areas, right? So a struggling coach thinks getting clients is the hard part, tries to please everyone, wants to be comfortable and liked. That was me. Wonders why their clients miss sessions and don't show up on time. Also me. Has huge dreams that overwhelm them. Is scared to state bold fees because they're afraid of rejection. Spend their time creating things like things on Canva or just like things that are not producing income. Never invest in their own coach. Thinks money is oxygen. Thinks confidence is a requirement before taking action. And tries to sell the concept of coaching and seeks more and more credentials. Okay, so how many of these are you right now? Like really ask yourself, when I did this, I was like checking off every single one of them. I was like, yes, like I want to be comfortable and liked. I want to please everyone, right? Like I spent my time on Canva way longer than I probably should have in my business. Now I get paid for it, but it's different. But I'm really more intentional. And I definitely thought that money was oxygen until I also did a lot of personal development on money too. Okay, so are you a struggling coach, or are you the pro coach? The pro coach knows there's no hard part, serves people, and does not try to please them. Try to please them. Knows that being comfortable is the only way to grow. They are never late or miss a session. And I'm going to stop on that one, because in my one-on-one mentorship, I had a coach who just every session, I didn't feel like it was moving. Like, it didn't feel like her business was moving. There's a missing piece in there, and I still need to get to the bottom of it. And she wasn't active. And I told her I will not have a call with her until she's active. She got active. And then I told her I wouldn't have a call with her unless she had Prosperous coach. She ended up getting Prosperous coach. And then she told me last minute 3 times, oh, I can't, I have to reschedule, when I would sit here and wait for her to get on Zoom. And the last time it was because she wanted to go to SeaWorld. And on the last day of the month. And you know what I said? Guys, this is so hard as a leader and a coach. And I'm telling you this because you're going to be in this position one day, or maybe you are right now. And it is so hard. It is so hard to have to say this to someone that you care so much about. But I had to tell her, I'm no longer going to allow you to schedule a one-on-one with me until you hit Success Club 5. And because I felt like I was doing all the things and giving her all the time and the energy, and I just didn't feel it back. And I needed her to be a hell yes, and I felt like she was a hell no. She wasn't putting her business as not a priority, because your family is a priority always. God is, I always say, God, family, business. Like that's how I am. But there comes a time where it's like you have to set boundaries for yourself in this business. And like that sucked a lot of energy out of me. And so I wanted to kind of elaborate on that one, because she wasn't being a pro coach. She wasn't being a pro coach. And I felt like I wasn't being a pro coach by just allowing her to cancel on me for 5 minutes before our call to go to SeaWorld on the last day of the month when she was at SC0 and inactive. Show me you want this. So again, there's going to be hard times in this business. And that was definitely a really hard time for me. Because I didn't want to be that coach, but I had to be that coach. And in the Prosperous Coach, he says, your coach is going to say things that make you uncomfortable. And it probably made her uncomfortable, but it's going to push her to where she needs to be. And I know this month she's going to hit Success Club 5. Okay. So I digress on that, but has huge dreams and takes tiny steps every single day. Tiny steps, you guys. You can have big dreams, but just take tiny steps every single day. Coaches their butt off, understands that receiving coaching is part of their professional development. Okay. They model the power of coaching by devoting time, energy, and focus in their own coach. Knows that money is just money. Knows that confidence is a result of taking action. Messy action is the best action, you guys. Literally, I am just like, okay, I'm going to post this reel today. I don't know what's going to happen. And and guess what happened? The best action in the world. Okay. Sells by giving people a powerful experience, you guys, a powerful experience. Knows that credentials are irrelevant. No one knows what rank you are. No one knows what income you have. No one knows about Success Club unless they're your coaches. It's irrelevant. Okay. It's not even a necessity, honestly. To me, rank and stuff, that's all fluff in my business. Okay. If I'm doing the things that is going to move the needle in my business, that will happen. That will happen. When I get too caught up in, oh my gosh, I need to hit, I still have goals. Don't get it twisted. I still set okay, I know that I want to be, 3-star by Summit, and that's my goal, but I'm also not invested in that, right? I set that goal, but then I dig deeper into what's going to get me to that goal. And that's what I focus on. I don't focus on the end result. I focus on the steps that are going to get me there. Does that make sense? Okay. And so sells by giving people power. So knows exactly. Okay, we already went that. All right. So love the hard part. And he talks about this in the book, Love the Hard Part. So there's 2 different areas of coaching, right? There's coaching and the business of coaching. So coaching is the fun part where it's we post on our stories and we talk about coaching and how amazing it is. And it's so much fun. And we post our workouts and we drink our shakes, and that's what everyone thinks coaching is. That's what everyone thinks is going to make them income or move the needle in their business, but it's not. The business of coaching is what's going to move your business. The incoming producing activities, the hard part, right? The invites, the follow-ups, all the things, the part where we really lack. Okay. Most coaches love the box on the left. Guys, I love the box on the left, right? It's so much fun to post on your stories all day and talk about coaching. But they then hate the box on the right. Right. But you have to love the hard part too. Okay. So you have to bring them together and you have to find balance in both of them. The amount of fun and success you'll have as a coach, overlap them and you'll thrive as a coach. Okay. And he goes more in depth with this, but this is really important because if you are just here and you're not here, you are not going to thrive as a coach. Like you really have to figure out how you can love the business of coaching. And for me, I love the business of coaching because now I'm like, great, you're interested. Let's get on a call. Let me get to know you. Let me serve you. Let me give you a powerful coaching experience. And now I have found 10 times more joy in my business. And I'm not dreading that, like, oh, I got to find her in my DMs. I don't know like where she is, or, you know, like it's just dreadful, honestly, in my opinion. And, you know, like, and so like, I just feel so much more at peace with my business of like getting to know them and spending the time to really help them. You guys, they're reaching out to you because they're struggling, right? Like, how would you feel if you reached out to someone and they were just interested in selling you a challenge pack? Right? So always ask yourself that, like, how would I want to feel if I was feeling this way? And what would I want someone to say to me? Okay. And I will say this is if you like, for me, I had 24 girls fill out my form. Guess what's going to happen? I'm focusing on one person at a time. I'm not spending all my whole day answering 24 forms, you guys. Like, I'm not doing that. You know, like I'm actually working on a system for a funnel. So like when they fill out my form, I put them into Flowdesk and they get an email that'll just literally say like, okay, here's my link to sign up for my one-on-one. But that's about it, right? Like I'm gonna do it one by one, focus on one person a day. And that's also the sticky note on my desk. How can I change one person's life today? If you can focus on that, you'll really make moves in this business. Okay. So even if I didn't have anyone fill out my forms today, still, I would say, who is one person that I could talk to today? You know, and you know what I would do? I would go to my messages and I'd look at maybe a conversation of a message that I haven't opened yet. And I would just start a conversation with that person. But also, you don't want to get stuck in the friend zone either, because that sucks. And I'm not going to really elaborate on that because he talks about that in the book. But you really don't want to get stuck in that friend zone area, because then it's kind of like, are you interested? Are you not interested? Right. For me, I'm literally just being like, you know, for example, this one girl, she is so cute. I just want to invite her and I just haven't, mainly because I'm just like, I don't want to, like, you know, what is that word? Taint like our relationship on Instagram, because her daughter and my daughter are close in age. But she commented on my post saying, honestly, if I didn't have 24 people fill out my form today, she would have been my one person. She would have been the one person that I say, girl, what are you waiting for? I really just love our conversation. Are you interested in joining my group? Because I saw her post that she was doing some kind of like weight loss thing, and I was like too scared to ask her. And so like she would have been my one person, and she might be my one person on Friday or whatever. But like, so maybe have a list too. If you want to create a list, like maybe you have a list of that one person that you can invite or just talk to. Okay. But there should be one person a day that you are having a conversation with. And that conversation should be in a flow where you're going to give them a powerful coaching experience. Whether it is, oh my gosh, girl, I see that you are starting your health and fitness journey. I have a recipe PDF. Can I send it to you? I'm sure Brittany has recipes because she has Your Coach Bestie. So, and we give out recipes now. So guys, stuff like that is like free, and people love free stuff, right? So even if you feel like you're maybe in that friend zone, or maybe if you just aren't sure if you want to invite them yet, but you want to have a powerful coaching conversation, give them something. Give them a podcast to listen to. Give them, you know, a book recommendation, or, you know, a recipe PDF, or I don't know, something free of value. Like that's value. So even if you aren't signing them up right away, they're going to remember that you helped them with something. Okay. So that's also a powerful coaching experience. And another thing, this is, what time is it? Okay. We have 15 minutes. Good. But this is what literally drives me bananas. Okay. I can't stand when people say, I'm just not getting clients, or I'm just not getting coaches, or how do you get coaches? How do you get clients? You don't get them, you create them. You create them by giving them a powerful coaching experience. Okay. Clients are created, not attracted. And this is, I have a really hard time. And I think Brittany knows from doing 75 hard. But he talks about this in the book where it's like you get to a point where you just like can't have conversations with people because of their excuses and whatever. I have a really hard time talking to other coaches or like in my corporate chats, and they're just like, I can't get coaches or I can't get customers. And I'm like, Gabby, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Like I'm literally telling myself because I could go ham, guys. And I have to like tone myself down because I just want to be like, guys, go read the Prosperous Coach. Like, go read this book because you don't get clients. You attract them. You add value. You have genuine conversations with them. That's how you create clients. That's how you create coaches, right? They are created in the conversation. Okay. High performing clients are only created in impactful, life-changing coaching. Okay. Stop saying get clients. Okay. Like sometimes I catch myself and I'm like, nope, I'm going to create a client today. I'm not going to get one. So it's literally just like a mind shift change. Okay. It really is. Okay. And you're going to remember that when you are teaching your clients and you're going to say, hey, Brittany, we're creating them. We're not getting them. Okay. So this is what he wrote. And I'm kind of like, it's such a contradictive to what he said, don't get clients, but like, this will get you clients. But sell the experience, not the concepts. Okay. Sell the experience. Okay. And you have to define what experience that means for you and your business. No cold calling, no the half line enthusiasm. So he goes into that more in depth in the book. Do not use email. I use email literally for one thing, and it's here's my link to my calendar, sign up, and we'll have a Zoom call. That's it. Honor conversations, create certainty versus belief. This is a huge one, you guys. Share case stories, share stories rather than benefits and features. Guys, I used to post like Shakeology has probiotics, prebiotics, enzymes, like all of the things, and no one honestly cares. Yes, no one cares, honestly. No one's like, I need probiotics. Like, guys, seriously, it's great. It is good for your body. Don't get me wrong. But they want to know how it makes you feel. They want to see how your clients are liking it. So right now in my gut program, I am literally taking screenshots of like what my clients are experiencing, and I'm just crossing out their name. And sometimes, guys, I always do this, but I'm like, I'll go in my challenge group because I'm like, I really want to like share some case stories right now. I'll go in my challenge group and I'll say, just drop a comment or like a little post, and I'll say, tell me how you're feeling week 1. And they'll just load the comments, screenshot, crop, share, screenshot, crop, share. Guys, that's what's going to create clients, because they're going to be like, wow, like, Brittany's feeling amazing. She lost 7 pounds in a week, right? Or, she has more sleep now. So create stories versus features and case benefit or benefits, you guys, because it just like people want to hear stories rather than that, honestly, because I do. Find the goal behind the client's goal. So this one's really interesting. And again, talks about it in depth, but it's really like the client has a goal, right? So I want to lose 5 pounds. Find the goal behind that 5 pounds. Why do you want to lose the 5 pounds? What will that mean to you if you lose the 5 pounds? Okay. Two questions right there. Not like, okay, we're going to help you lose 5 pounds. No. Why do you want to lose 5 pounds? What will that mean to you if you lose that 5 pounds? Okay. Lamppost metaphor. I had to read that 3 times to understand what that meant. I don't know why. But I kind of You know, what's funny is every time I read it, I always thought of the movie, The Christmas Story, where his dad got that like leg. Literally, I don't know why, but that's just what I thought of. But the lamppost metaphor is like, if you had a lamppost and you were to sit here and talk to it, it wouldn't talk back, right? So like, that's what you have to be when you're a coach. You have to be that lamppost and just let them talk. All right. Let them, just talk about themselves, because that's what people want to do at the end of the day. When you just make it about yourself and you're just talking, they don't care about you. They care about themselves, honestly. All right. Maintain innocence in getting yes and no. The yes lives in the land of no. Show leadership in enrollment. Like I said, you have to show powerful leadership in enrollment. Are you going to sign up today or tomorrow? That's what I ask. Are you signing up today or tomorrow? Because if they want to sign up today, I'm going to send the share cart. If they want to sign up tomorrow, okay, I'm going to send the share cart right now. I'm going to check in with you tomorrow and make sure that you get it registered. Look, guys, show leadership. Okay. Slow down. You really have to slow down to speed up, you guys. All right. And it's so important, because if you're constantly going, you're going to burn out. And I truly believe, guys, I even schedule in naps now, and it's been game changer. Okay. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I tell my boyfriend, I'm like, I'm scheduling in a nap, because I just need to relax my brain. And even if I'm just laying in bed and like just watching like whatever, I'm relaxing my brain. And I set a timer, and then I get up and I drink Energize and I go about my day. But get a coach, leave conversation in context of possibility, not affordability. Okay. And this is why I never really ever get people asking me how much is it, because I shared so much value. I made it about them, and I tied in the value of what it would mean for them if they join me based on their goals. And they don't even care how much it is at that point. They're just like, yes, sign me up. Okay. Limitation creates value. Be aware of role reversal. So like, be aware of like them switching the reverse, like role reverse, like you're the coach, you have to show leadership. Okay. Be great at what you do, not just good. Be freaking great. Okay. And then this is a step-by-step process of creating clients. Number 1 is connect. Number 2 is invite. Number 3 is create your magic, create those clients, add value, and then propose the offer. Okay. And then I think that was it. Yeah. So now is the time. Now is the time to be completely authentic, so that people can trust you. It's time to start asking for what you really, really want out of this business. Are you a hell yes or are you hell no? It's time to only coach clients whom you absolutely love. Okay. And it's time to master the way you communicate, investing in guide culture, or just like their free resources. It's time to make bolder proposals. It's time to get comfortable being uncomfortable. And fail more. I can't tell you how many times I've failed in this business, but every single failure has led me to where I am today. All right. I've learned from those failures. I've grown from those failures. And then this is just some homework that I always actually do this with my coaches, and it's in the book. But number 1 is, how much time have you spent? And this is like a weekly check-in, you guys. But how much time have you spent building or creating relationships with people in the last 7 days? How many potential clients did you invite to round 2 of the gut protocol in the last 7 days? So we're doing a round 2. How much income did you make in the past 7 days with coaching? Does the number reflect the work you did? Where would you like to see your income at this month? So again, connect, invite, create, and propose. What gets measured gets done. All right. So that's really all I have. Again, like, if you are not investing your time in coaching and reading the Prosperous Coach, I'm telling you, it's going to be really hard for Brittany to coach you if you have not read the Prosperous Coach. I'm telling you right now.
Oh my gosh, Gabby, you guys. So the other day, you have to know, like, I talked to you guys about finding success sisters within the network, within our team. And I practice what I preach. And, this last fall, Gabby and some other gals in the network, we were all collaborating on some things, and we've just got a thread going. And I went into that thread and I was like, okay, I have an idea, but like, what are you guys doing right now? And immediately she's like, let's get on a Zoom. Because Gabby is like so gracious with her time. And she sat on Zoom with me. She explained to me these one-on-ones she's doing, the Prosperous coach. And immediately it was in my Amazon cart, bought it like before our Zoom was even over, and already put a game plan together. And so just like she said about like messy action, you guys, I didn't have a step-by-step game plan that corporate gave me nice and laid out that I read about at Summit. And then like I had a PDF to follow. No, I had a Zoom call. I felt Gabby's energy. I know that it's working for her. And gosh almighty, do I want that to work for our team? So I implemented messy, imperfect, like just doing the best I can as I go. But that's what we're doing in this Q2. Like, we are reading the Prosperous Coach. We're doing one-on-one mentorships. And if you have not gotten in on that yet, not necessarily with me, because some of you guys are at a place in your business where you need your upline coach to have one-on-ones with you. You don't need to skip a level to me, right? So if you're not doing one-on-ones with me, I want you to reach out to your upline tonight and be like, okay, I need this. What day, like set your day of the week, set your time, because I'm already seeing like magic happening in these little 30-minute, 45-minute, 1-hour chunks of time each week with you guys. And I keep telling everybody we're going to get to Summit, and we're already going to be having the post-Summit energy before we even step foot at Summit. And so then when we leave Summit with that post-Summit energy, it's just going to snowball. It's going to be insane. So if you're like, I don't know what the Prosperous Coach is, but it sounds cool, get in on it. Get in on it, right? Like, you want to read that book. You want to be a part of these one-on-ones. You want to move the needle forward. Imperfect, messy action. Remember what she said, one like piece at a time. You guys, if you have questions for Gabby, drop them in the chat. I do want to ask you, I know that with this system, you're connecting a lot, and you said that your invite system before wasn't working. And so you kind of just stopped doing it. So what is that system? While some people are dropping that in the chat, what is that system like? Can you just like, if I were like sitting there working with you, what does that look like? Are people just filling out your form because of your calls to action, or are you actually like taking a connection and then going into the invite?
Yeah. Okay. So sorry, I was just texting Emma really quick. I'm going to be totally transparent right now. I'm at a stage in my business where I literally cannot invite right now or make more connections because I'm overwhelmed. Okay. Like, literally, I had to ask my assistant to help me with my signups from how many people filled out my form. Okay. Because it's literally sitting here. I've had 3 more. So I am at a stage in my business where I am not doing that right now. Okay. But if it slowed down, or when it does, I will be doing that, inviting, doing all those things. And what I would probably be doing is following up, because guess what happens? These people are filling out my form and half of them might not even sign up. Okay. And maybe they all will, and that's great, whatever, but half probably won't. And so they're going to be on my follow-up list. So a lot of my inviting, you guys, is from follow-ups from the past 4 years of my business. Following up, like, I have created a massive follow-up list because like anytime someone has said no to me, I'm like, it's not a no, it's just not right now. And so for me, I truly believe, and there's a great podcast, I will try and find it, Brittany, from Guide Culture, that she talks about follow-ups, and it's amazing. It's so good. But she talks about that the yes is always in the follow-up. Anytime I follow up, that's where I get most of the girls wanting to sign up. Now, if I feel like my follow-up list is kind of dwindling, then I'll be like, okay, I'm going to go make connections. I'm going to go invite. And what I do though is I'm weird. I'm like, I'm going to invite by creating badass content, and that's making a reel. That's the way I invite. Because I literally say, look at my before and after, fill the link out in my bio. That's how I invite. And if I do feel like, okay, I need to go invite, then I'll just, I mean, guys, I don't know. It's in my follow-ups mostly. But if I were you, maybe like you're a new coach, I would be like, I invited my like my friends, my family. But honestly, when I first started as a new coach, I shared 80-day obsession like it was like every day. Like I shared my workouts, I shared what I was eating, I shared personal development, I shared all of that. And people slowly started to trust me and see what I was doing. And people started to reach out to me. And so, I mean, you have to ask yourself, like, are you doing the things that are going to create clients, that are going to attract people to you, that want that can see like the potential that could be for them? Like, you have to really ask yourself, are you posting consistently? Are you adding value? Are you, creating hype? To me, if someone's going to come to my page, I want them to be excited to want to come back, right? Like if I'm not excited about the content that I'm putting out, why would anyone else be excited, right? And I say that for the same for my challenge groups too. If I don't feel like my challenge groups are hyped, then I'm like, oh crap, like I need to go find girls that want to be hyped with me, right? And so like you have to ask yourself, like, what do you crave? What do you want? And go create that, right? I mean, I was inviting, I was, going through the likes and, doing all those things and going through the comments and whatever, but I just felt like that wasn't fun for me. So now, like I said, I create reels based on like before and afters. And I actually learned this from Natasha Pearson because she did a best of the best call and she just reuses a lot of her reels, you guys. She just posted that she lost 100 pounds, but this is her third time doing that. And she reuses reels. And so you guys do that. Like, don't be afraid to reuse a post or to reuse like content from like, if you have a before photo or before video, right? Like if you like reuse that one, okay? And like put a new one on there, okay? Like that, it's okay to reuse stuff, like because people are coming to your story or coming to your Instagram all the time, and you're gonna have different eyes on your story, right? So you need to always be like, okay, I have new people, I need to like create some, new people. So I don't know. That's just what I do. This is a very long-winded answer, but I hope that made sense.
No, but I think it really draws attention and focus to the fact that if your social media content is not exciting and it's not something somebody's going to stay and watch and be inspired by and build trust and be able to connect with you beyond just your workouts, right? Like when I go to watch Gabby, like I can absolutely see how any mom who is a first-time mom would 150% connect with her immediately because of how she shares motherhood in real time, right? And so I know this about her. So like that niche absolutely is going to come back and continue watching because they're going to feel connected and inspired. And then the connections are in the inbox are just a lot easier, and the transition to invite is just so much easier. And so I hope you hear in her answer that her land of invites lives within social media content. Yeah. I love it.
I mean, yeah. And it's really from those two things, is just reading the book and then just figuring out what worked for me and my business. And like I said, I was posting before and afters, like a static post, and it wasn't fun for me. And I like saw reels from Natasha, and like I would like literally just be like, wow, I'm like, guys, I would watch Natasha Pearson's reels and I'd be like engaged. And I'm like, I want someone to come to my page and be that way. And so like then I just started to just not like find before and after reels and find different like songs. And so I have actually probably like 20 reels ready to go. And I'm like scared to post them because every single time I do, like, I don't know how Natasha does it, but it makes sense now because I don't know if you heard that call, Brittany. When she did the call, she was at Success Club 2000, like 2,900. Yeah. I'm over here freaking out over 24 people. I'm like, how? And I literally texted my coach Dan. I was like, I need to know how Natasha does it because I have 24 people and I don't know how I'm going to get to them. But you guys, like, it's just really like take a deep breath, because I know like when I heard that from Natasha, I literally started to go in panic mode. But then I like realized, okay, look, I don't need to hit Success Club 3,000. Okay. I don't. All right. I'm not even at that stage in my business. I don't even want that business, to be honest. But at the same time, like I took that as like, okay, I just need to shift a couple things in my business. I can create reels, which I love making, and turn my before and afters into that way. And it was a game changer. It was a simple game changer in my business, you guys. And if you don't have an after result right now, do all the before reels right now. Do them now. Okay. I would even do them even if you have like an after already, like still do it. Right. So yeah, that's just like my little tidbit. I don't know with that.
Love it. And you're like
Okay,
a link ninja, so maybe you can find the replay link for that so I can give it to who are
Yeah.
beyond that.
Yeah. For sure.
And I hope that that number doesn't show you like, oh God, like I could never. I hope what that number shows you is that S5 is really simple, y'all. I hope that that's what it shows you. Right?
So true.
You know what I mean? Like let's not put SC5 on a pedestal. It doesn't belong there, right? And honestly, SC3000 doesn't even belong on a pedestal. I love how Gabby opened this up and said she had to take a step back. And a step back, you guys, doesn't mean that you don't come on calls anymore and you stop working your business and you don't, right? Like a step, I think we don't understand what a step back is. Sometimes a step back means I'm going to internally reflect for a season and really decide what I want while still taking those small forward motions, because I don't know what I want. And so why would I ever want to damage the work I've already put in, right? You would never want to do that. So I love how that intentionality was there so that Gabby could figure out in this season, what does success look and feel like for me? And how do I show up authentically to then be able to create that? And I think sometimes that's like the struggle is like trying to figure out what your definition of success is and then own the crap out of it. Make it a hell yes, right?
Yeah. I will say this. Stop watching everyone else and trying to be like everyone else. Be like yourself. 100%. And you have to define that. You do. Like no one's going to tell you what to do or how to be. Like I have some coaches that's like, tell me your schedule. What does your schedule look like? Or what does this look like? And I'm like, I'm not going to tell you my schedule because it's going to look different for you. Like you have 3 kids. I have 1. If you want to add my boyfriend, that's 2. But
thank you. We all do that. We all do that over here.
So yeah, like you have to just literally figure it out yourself and use Google, figure out if you're a hell yes or a hell no, and just be creative and have fun with this business, but also take a leadership role and just, all the things. Hope that helps.
It's so good. So good. Well, I'm going to cut us off there. I don't see any questions in the chat, but that was like, I think that was an awesome answer for us. I think that's super helpful for everyone as we're navigating how to kind of go take action with all of that. But thank you so much, Gabby. You're a lifesaver for me today. You have no clue how much.
Of course.
Like, I'm just so grateful right now. All right, you guys, I'm going to do a quick boom. So if you can get on screen. All right, ready? 3, 2, 1, go. Y'all are so cute. All right, love you guys. Thank you so much, Gabby. Have a great night, and we'll see you tomorrow. Kristen is hosting Power Hour tomorrow night, so make sure that you get on 6 p.m. Central. Have a good night, guys.